Europe has long been a land of opportunity, attracting millions of immigrants in search of a better life. But as economic struggles, political shifts, and security concerns rise, some countries are taking drastic measures to control migration. In 2025, several European nations have shut their doors tighter than ever. From tightening visa policies to outright border closures, these countries are making it nearly impossible for newcomers to settle in. Stick around as we count down the 10 European countries that have closed their borders to immigrants this year, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more engaging content like this. Let's get started. Number 10. Finland. Finland, known for its high quality of life and world-class education system, has made a dramatic shift in its immigration policy. In early 2025, the Finnish government announced stricter border controls, citing economic strain and rising housing shortages as key reasons. With unemployment creeping up to 8.2%, officials argue that prioritizing citizens over newcomers is necessary. The move comes after years of debate over Finland's capacity to integrate immigrants. Many claim that the country's social services are already stretched thin, and further immigration could exacerbate the problem. As a result, asylum applications have been drastically reduced, and new work visas are nearly impossible to obtain. Another driving force behind the decision is security. Finland has seen an increase in concerns over border security, particularly with tensions rising in Eastern Europe. The government has also increased deportations of undocumented migrants, making it clear that immigration policies will not be easing anytime soon. Even students and skilled workers are feeling the effects. The once welcoming country has now implemented stricter language requirements and financial proof for residency applications. Unless major economic improvements occur, Finland's doors are likely to remain closed. Despite its reputation as a progressive nation, Finland has joined the growing list of European countries prioritizing border control. For those hoping to move here, the future looks increasingly uncertain. Number 9. Denmark. Denmark, once one of the most immigrant-friendly countries in Europe, has taken a sharp turn in 2025. The government has imposed severe restrictions on asylum seekers and drastically reduced the number of work permits issued. Officials cite economic pressure and cultural integration challenges as the main reasons for these changes. The Danish government's policy shift follows years of heated debates over immigration. Many citizens argue that the country's welfare system is under strain, making it difficult to support a continuous influx of newcomers. In response, Denmark has introduced laws requiring immigrants to pass tougher language and cultural exams before obtaining permanent residency. Security has also been a major factor in the new restrictions. The government has cited concerns over crime rates and social cohesion, arguing that stricter border control will lead to a safer and more stable society. These policies have made Denmark one of the least accessible European countries for migrants in 2025. The restrictions also applied to skilled workers and students. Employers must now prove that no Danish citizen can fill a position before hiring a foreign worker, significantly slowing down the process. Many international students who once considered Denmark a prime destination are now looking elsewhere. Even family reunification programs have been severely limited. For many immigrants hoping to make Denmark their home, the road has become nearly impossible to navigate. Number 8. Austria. Austria has long struggled to balance its need for workers with public concerns over immigration. In 2025, the government decided to take a firm stance, implementing some of the strictest immigration laws in the EU. Border controls have been reinforced, and asylum requests are being rejected at record rates. Economic concerns played a significant role in this decision. With inflation hitting 6.5% and unemployment on the rise, Austrian leaders argue that the country cannot afford to accommodate more migrants. Many citizens fear that housing shortages and wage competition will worsen if immigration continues unchecked. Austria has also intensified deportation efforts. Those who failed to meet the country's strict residency requirements are now being removed at a faster rate than ever before. Even humanitarian organizations have struggled to challenge these new policies. In an attempt to protect its cultural identity, Austria has introduced stricter language requirements for residency. Immigrants must now pass advanced German proficiency exams before being eligible for long-term stays. This has drastically reduced the number of successful immigration applications. While Austria still welcomes highly skilled workers in select industries, the majority of new immigrants are being turned away. As a result, the country has become one of Europe's toughest places to move to in 2025. Number 7. Sweden. Sweden, once known for its open-door immigration policies, has made a dramatic reversal in 2025. With rising concerns over crime, strained social services, and economic difficulties, the government has imposed severe immigration restrictions. The number of asylum seekers granted entry has plummeted by nearly 70% compared to 2024. The shift comes after years of increasing public dissatisfaction with Sweden's previous policies. Many citizens argue that the government has struggled to properly integrate immigrants, leading to social tensions. As a result, stricter background checks and longer processing times have been introduced for all new applications. Security concerns have played a major role in Sweden's decision. The government has linked certain criminal activities to undocumented immigration, leading to more aggressive deportation policies. Police have also increased border surveillance, making it harder for migrants to enter the country illegally. Even work permits have become harder to obtain. The Swedish Migration Agency now prioritizes local job seekers before approving visas for foreign workers. This has made it increasingly difficult for non-EU citizens to find employment in Sweden. Despite facing criticism from human rights groups, Sweden's government insists that these policies are necessary. As of now, the country remains one of the least accessible in Europe for immigrants. Number 6. Belgium. Belgium, a country known for its rich history and international influence, has significantly tightened its immigration policies in 2025. The government has imposed stricter border controls and limited asylum applications, citing economic strain and social integration challenges. The number of approved asylum cases has dropped by nearly 60% compared to the previous year. One of the biggest concerns for Belgium has been the strain on its housing market. Rising rental prices and a lack of affordable housing have made it difficult for both locals and newcomers to find a place to live. Officials argue that restricting immigration is necessary to ease the pressure on public resources and prevent further economic challenges. Security concerns have also influenced these restrictions. The government has increased border patrols and implemented more rigorous background checks on incoming migrants. Those without strong employment prospects or family connections in Belgium are finding it increasingly difficult to gain residency. The labor market has also become more restrictive for non-EU workers. Companies must now go through extensive procedures to prove that hiring a foreign worker is necessary, delaying visa approvals. As a result, many skilled professionals are opting to move to other European nations with less stringent rules. Even family reunification policies have become stricter. Immigrants must now meet higher income and housing requirements before they can bring family members to join them. These measures make Belgium one of the least welcoming European countries for immigrants in 2025. Despite these changes, Belgium insists that its policies are aimed at improving economic stability and maintaining social harmony. For those hoping to relocate, however, the doors are closing fast. Number 5. Netherlands. The Netherlands, once a hub for international talent and a champion of multiculturalism, has taken a hard stance on immigration in 2025. The government has drastically reduced the number of asylum permits granted, and new work visa approvals have slowed significantly. Officials say these changes are meant to address growing concerns over housing shortages and pressure on public services. The housing crisis has been one of the main drivers of this policy shift. With rental prices soaring and social housing in short supply, the Dutch government argues that limiting immigration is necessary to stabilize the market. Many citizens believe that an influx of newcomers has contributed to the ongoing affordability crisis. In addition to housing, the country's healthcare system has been struggling to keep up with demand. With waiting times for medical services increasing, Politicians have pushed for policies that prioritize Dutch citizens over new arrivals. As a result, even immigrants with legal status are finding it harder to access essential services. Job opportunities for foreign workers have also become scarce. Many sectors that previously relied on migrant labor, such as hospitality and tech, are now under stricter government regulations. Companies are being forced to prioritize hiring Dutch workers before considering international candidates. Students and skilled professionals are also feeling the impact. The Netherlands has introduced higher financial requirements for student visas and is offering fewer scholarships to international applicants. These policies are making it increasingly difficult for foreigners to study and work in the country. Although the Netherlands remains an attractive destination for expats, the immigration barriers in place for 2025 have made it far less accessible than in previous years. The government insists these measures are necessary, but for many, the country is no longer an easy place to call home. Number 4. France. France, a country that has long been at the center of European immigration debates, has now taken a stricter approach in 2025. A wave of policy changes has drastically reduced the number of work and asylum permits issued, making it harder than ever for foreigners to settle in the country. Many of these measures are aimed at addressing economic challenges and rising public dissatisfaction with immigration. One of the biggest factors behind these restrictions is unemployment. France's job market has been under pressure, with unemployment rates climbing to 9% in early 2025. The government argues that prioritizing jobs for French citizens is essential for economic recovery. Security concerns have also played a role in tightening immigration laws. The French government has increased border controls and intensified background checks for all visa applicants. This move follows a rise in public concern over crime and social unrest in certain urban areas. The cost of living in major French cities has become another issue. Skyrocketing rent prices, particularly in Paris, have made it increasingly difficult for both locals and immigrants to afford housing. Many believe that reducing immigration will help stabilize the real estate market. Even students and skilled professionals are facing new hurdles. The French government has introduced stricter visa conditions and raised financial requirements for international students. As a result, many foreigners are choosing alternative study and work destinations. Although France remains a global cultural and economic powerhouse, its new immigration policies signal a shift towards a more protectionist approach. For those hoping to move here, the process has become significantly more challenging. Number 3. Germany. Germany, historically one of Europe's most welcoming countries for immigrants, has implemented some of the strictest immigration laws in 2025. The government has reduced asylum approvals, tightened visa requirements, and increased deportations of undocumented migrants. This shift comes as Germany faces economic difficulties and political pressure to curb immigration. Rising unemployment has been a major concern, with joblessness reaching 7.5% in early 2025. The German government has argued that reducing immigration will help create more job opportunities for its citizens. Many companies are now required to prove that no German workers are available before hiring foreign employees. Social integration has also been a key factor in these policy changes. Officials claim that past immigration policies led to challenges in assimilating newcomers, leading to social tensions. As a result, Germany has imposed stricter language and cultural requirements for those seeking permanent residency. Housing shortages in major cities like Berlin and Munich have worsened, with rental prices skyrocketing. The government has prioritized housing access for German citizens. Many believe that restricting immigration will help ease the pressure on the housing market. Even highly skilled workers are facing new barriers. In the past, Germany actively sought foreign engineers, doctors, and IT professionals, but 2025 has seen a slowdown in work visa approvals. The process has become more selective, favoring EU citizens over applicants from outside Europe. Germany's shift in immigration policy reflects growing concerns about economic stability and national identity. For those looking to move to Europe's largest economy, the doors are not as open as they once were. Number 2. Italy. Italy has taken one of the hardest stances on immigration in 2025, significantly tightening its border controls. New policies have drastically reduced the number of asylum seekers allowed into the country, and illegal immigration crackdowns have intensified. The government insists that these measures are necessary to protect Italy's economy and national security. Economic struggles have been a major driver of these policies. Italy's debt crisis and sluggish GDP growth have forced the government to prioritize jobs and resources for citizens. Unemployment among young Italians remains high, further fueling the push for restrictive immigration laws. The refugee crisis has also contributed to the border closures. With ongoing instability in parts of Africa and the Middle East, Italy has been a primary entry point for migrants. The government has now increased naval patrols and tightened visa approvals to limit arrivals. Housing shortages and rising living costs in cities like Rome and Milan have made it harder for new immigrants to settle. Rent prices have surged by over 15% in the last year, making affordability a serious concern. These factors have led to further calls for reducing immigration. Even foreign workers in essential industries are facing difficulties. Italy has reduced work permit approvals and imposed tougher renewal requirements, making long-term residency harder to achieve. Many sectors that once depended on migrant labor are now experiencing worker shortages. Despite its historic role as a migration hub, Italy has become one of the least accessible European countries for immigrants in 2025. The government shows no signs of reversing these policies anytime soon. Number 1. United Kingdom. Topping the list is the United Kingdom, which has taken some of the most drastic measures to close its borders in 2025. After years of debate surrounding immigration, the UK government has significantly reduced the number of work visas, asylum applications, and family reunifications. The country has introduced new restrictions, making it one of the hardest places in Europe for immigrants to move to. One of the biggest reasons for this shift is the ongoing economic strain. With inflation rising and job availability decreasing, officials argue that prioritizing British citizens in the workforce is necessary. As of early 2025, the unemployment rate has climbed to 5.8%, pushing the government to tighten its immigration policies further. Security concerns have also played a major role in border restrictions. The government has increased background checks, enforced stricter deportation policies, and introduced more rigorous visa screening processes. Illegal immigration crackdowns have intensified, with harsher penalties for those caught entering the country without documentation. Housing shortages have added further pressure to restrict migration. Cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham have seen skyrocketing rent prices, making affordable housing a major concern for both citizens and newcomers. By limiting immigration, the government hopes to stabilize the housing market and reduce competition for resources. Even skilled professionals are struggling to obtain visas. The UK has introduced higher salary thresholds for work visas, making it difficult for many foreign workers to qualify. Employers must now prove that hiring a non-UK citizen is absolutely necessary, further complicating the process. With these new restrictions, the UK has solidified its stance as one of the least accessible European countries for immigrants in 2025. While the government insists these measures are necessary for economic recovery and security, many believe they mark a permanent shift away from the UK's once welcoming immigration policies. Europe's immigration landscape is shifting faster than ever. From economic downturns to security concerns, governments are prioritizing border control in ways we haven't seen before. For those hoping to move to these nations, the reality in 2025 is more restrictive than ever. But is this trend temporary, or is Europe permanently closing itself off? Let us know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore our channel for more insights into the changing world. Thank you for watching.